Well, we have all three lines working today at Arcadia Junction, and we have I'm really here to show you my latest salvage, but before it happens I want to show you this Durango Fantasy Tyco caboose with the fun flashlight front. It's being pushed by a Rivarossi logging steam locomotive, which I picked up for a bargain. It was non-working and I repaired it, and I got it working fine. So I was delighted with that, and it comes around again. I'll just stop it here. I'm pushing because the logo has a European coupler, an NEM type coupler. But that Tyco caboose spotlight thing, it's just a fantasy scheme. Bit of fun, but it looked appropriate for this logo because I don't have any really rolling stock to run with it. But I'm delighted with it. It runs beautifully. I'll just let it go on its own there for a bit. Oh, it seems to be pulling the guy. Okay, that's pretty funny. Now it wants to pull him. Okay, we'll see how long that lasts. But that's a 1970s caboose with the original light bulb in it, still working great. I can't believe that it's actually pulling the American coupler along, but we'll leave it running as soon as it can. Here is a look at the inside branch. The idea was to make it look like really tight and compact. We had branch lines in Ireland like that in up until the 1960s, where you had really tight clearances around buildings that the branch line would go through them and sort of like go between warrens of building. A very attractive look for a model train. You see where it comes through? Ah, there it came off. Okay, we'll stop that. On the center line, you have one of those fantastic RDCs by Lifelike, and runs beautifully. It's in the Chicago and Northwestern colors. I'll slow it down when it comes around to here. Again, it's on what I call the regional line for this layout. And I love rail cars, I love DMUs, I love anything like that. You know, single unit propelled or double unit propelled, self-propelled vehicles. And the RDC was made by Lifelike under the Proto 1000 brand. They were superb value. From what I gather, Chicago and Northwestern didn't have one of these, I might be wrong, in revenue service, and a bit of a fish plate fell out there. And so they used this for route training and things like that, but it's a very attractive unit, and I do like the railroads of Chicago area, so we'll let that go back on its way. Now the real star of today's show is on the main line, and it's this hybrid Athearn Lima FP45 Santa Fe war bonnet scheme. Now, if you watched my videos a while back, I showed you that I loved, when I found out about it, the Super C freight system that ran between Chicago and Los Angeles in the 1960s and 70s, and it was a very modelable model, I guess, and you could run short, fast freights on a humble layout. And so this guy here is kind of like a Frankenstein. I had the Lima chassis that had a Canadian National body on it, black, which I've never seen, and Canadian National never had these SP45 locos. Santa Fe originally bought these for passenger service, and when Amtrak took over passenger service, they reduced them to freight. But I have seen them on publicity photos for the Super C freight. Again, the Super C freight was a fast express freight service that ran from Chicago to Los Angeles carrying time-sensitive or important goods for like universities, defense contractors, and so on. And it ran until the 70s, and it's an excuse to run a very smart war bonnet schemed Santa Fe locomotive, because these were only for passenger service. They were repainted later, I believe, back to the standard freight Santa Fe blue and yellow, but they did work in this scheme in the late 60s and 70s. This is why you see lots of Santa Fe models in this scheme, but it's really only the FP45, the F passenger units, and the other passenger units. There was also a U-boat passenger unit that was bought in the 60s for the same reason, and that was also in the war bonnet red and silver scheme. So again, a bit of cutting, a bit of fixing up, a bit of judicious painting here and there to hide scratches, and I'm absolutely over the moon with this model. And it probably cost me in total €20. So you can't go wrong there. I mean, I know people would complain about, oh, it's not a very accurate model. I'm not bothered at all. Oops. I'm not bothered at all by that. In fact, I'm perfectly happy with it. So, what can you say? Happy days. The motor, the mechanism of the Lima model was the classic pancake design. It didn't have all-wheel drive. It only drives one bogie, or truck as Americans call them. And all it needed was, it was in perfect condition, it was really clear. And all it needed was a single traction tire. And I tried to paint it as close to the original as possible. So we'll have a look at the layout one little more time. Yeah, that's a nice angle there. So it's coming along Arcadia Junction slowly and surely. Here comes the RDC on the regional track, going by the tightly curved station. Here it comes our Lima with the trailers on the back. And basically this layout is for having fun, and I hope you're having fun too. See you next time.